It took me about 2 years to go from no money to growing my Creator Founder business to $70,000 a month, while at the same time launching a paid info product, gaining $30,000 in a single month, then bringing that info product over to school and developing a paid community and consistently getting $20,000 in MRR. Honestly, if I knew what I knew now back in 2022, I would have grown twice as fast. So for you, this video is going to be the ultimate guide, step by step, to grow your Creator Founder business in 2024. Even if you don't have the brains or product or service, you're lost where to start, or even if you're trying to scale, this video is going to help you. So we're going to be going over 3 chapters: capturing intention and demand, turning a skill into a info product or service, and then 3, the Creator Founder funnel. So my goal for this video is to literally show you what I've done, but even faster. We're not going to even start out with chapter 1. We're going to start out with actually chapter 0, learning a high value skill. This is where you're going to want to immerse yourself. When I started off in my journey, I immersed myself so much into the business world and actually figuring out how to gain a high value skill. I initially started off with video editing, to then increasing my quality and getting millions of views, and to eventually what is now, which is my highest leverage skill, which is converting views into dollars. I'll be showing you how to acquire this skill later on in the video, but when it comes to the actual core skill that you'll be teaching later on, it doesn't really matter. Whatever resonates with you. Look, if you want to be a growth operator or build and release expert, by all means, go ahead and learn those skills. But those take a long time to figure out, all the missing pieces that go into those things. You should learn how to be a growth operator, build and release expert by building your own info product. That way you own 100% of what you're doing. But here's a quick list of some high value skills that you can learn: copywriting, sales, storytelling, content editing, fitness coach, LinkedIn expert. But for the sake of this guide that I'm going through with you right now, I'll be using an example of a high value skill of public speaking throughout the video. And this is where you're going to want to spend 2 to 3 weeks just consuming content around the skill that you want to learn. And I'm telling you, it really doesn't take long to learn any of these skills. The real highest leverage thing that you can do is figuring out how to turn this skill and views into dollars. Like I said, we're going to be going over that. But what you want to do is literally start consuming as much knowledge within the niche that you're learning. In this case, for public speaking, I'll be watching YouTube videos, listening to podcasts, reading books, and having my online mentors. I'll be a sponge with all the information I'm learning. I'll live and breathe it for the next 2 to 3 weeks. Now, the thing is, you don't want to fall into the area where you never take action on the new skill that you're learning. Watching content is great and you can learn a lot, but you never get over that wall of action. Don't be that guy that just scrolls forever and never takes action. The phase of consumption is really important, but you shouldn't be doing this for more than a couple of weeks. And then that brings us to our first chapter. Chapter 1, capturing attention. On the journey as a creative founder, one of the greatest assets that you can develop is your own personal brand. This is something that I realized when I was stuck at 15 to 20K within my content agency. And then when I started posting content for myself, it was like I was able to unlock a superpower of just attracting more clients. For you as a creator founder, this is essential, as we're going to be creating that foundation of raving fans and raving followers to then to be able to push them to any offer that you're going to be developing. And to be clear, the best path for a creative founder is to package up your knowledge into a paid info product. And this is literally one of the highest leverage things you could do to get to your first $10,000 a month easily. But to capture attention, you need to go through 2 phases. And phase 1 is going from 0 to 1 with content. So what you need to do is start creating content on what you just learned. Pick a platform. It could be Instagram, X, YouTube, LinkedIn. Whatever skill that you're going to teach should correspond with the platform that you're going to be picking. For example, if I'm learning the skill of copywriting and I'm posting videos on Instagram, that doesn't really make sense, as most people who will be interested in writing or copywriting are going to be hanging out on X. And only choose one channel to start. Don't do them all at once, because literally creating content can be a full-time job. If you try to do multiple platforms, you're just going to run yourself into the ground. For me, since we're doing public speaking, it would make sense to choose the platform of Instagram or YouTube. And then from here, we're figuring out how to approach content to initially gain some attention. Later on, we're going to be capturing attention. The difference: gaining attention is getting eyeballs on your content. Capturing attention is when you actually capture those eyeballs. So getting their email, having them become raving fans of you, building an actual connection with your followers. Right now, you're in gaining attention mode. The first thing that you need to focus on is mastering content. Now, the quickest and easiest way to master content is by doing what your favorite creators are already doing. Don't tell anyone this, it's a little bit of a secret, but your favorite creators are actually stealing content topics and ideas from other creators. Here's how to ethically steal for yourself when coming up with content. First is develop your mentor list. This should just be a bunch of creators that you resonate with, and they should fall within the same niche or skill that you're learning. Number two is study their winning content. Look at their most viral videos and how they shot it, how they scripted it, what ideas they're coming up with, how long the video was, etc. You want to dissect it. So finding these validated topics and ideas and how they presented it is something that you want to replicate for yourself. And then that's when you add on the third thing, steal like an artist. Now that you've found a validated piece of content from your favorite creator, it's time to replicate it for yourself. Look, you never want to copy one for one, but what you want to do is use an idea to place your thoughts on top of it, use an idea to mix with another idea, and then use the format in which it was shot with a great idea that you have. So you're kind of replicating it, but adding your own thoughts and ideas on top of it, just changing it up a little bit. Mimicking what's already working is going to be your best starting point. So phase one is laying down that foundation of content and then becoming consistent with creating great quality of work. Realistically, if done right, you can grow your channel within a month's time. Also, during that time, you're most likely going to have people to start to reach out to you for your product or service, which is a good thing. But just to be clear, for my public speaking skill that I want to teach others, to transform that into gaining attention on Instagram or YouTube, what I do is search up on YouTube public speaking. And then from there, I'd follow the top accounts. So we got Charisma on Command, Joseph Sar, Vin Gang, and there are many different others that I would want to explore on different platforms, newsletters, Instagram, Twitter, whatever. Follow those people, write them down, have them as your mentors. And then from there, I'd find their most viral videos, see if I can add something to it, copy the same exact format and how they shot it, and then even how they edit it, copy that format. Just find a way to make it a little bit more unique. And then that's your foundation for content. And then we're going to be moving on to phase two, scaling through content. When scaling my content agency and when I was posting content to attract clients, I noticed a huge shift that is happening with social media at the moment. A lot of big creators are panicking. Even like the top creators that I looked up to are coming to me for advice. And it's really the problem of a lot of people are gaining attention, but not capturing it. Now, our Creator Founder funnel will help us capture attention, but we also want to figure out how to capture attention through content. This is a missing link that a lot of creators do not have at the moment. And this is really the big reason of why we see the broke creator syndrome. The personal brand is dying, and community building and world building is the next biggest thing in 2024. This doesn't mean you gotta stop posting content to gain attention, but once you pass phase one, it's now time to focus on turning that gain attention into captured attention all through content. The moment I realized this for myself, I was able to gain a ton of new leads every single week and also have most of my videos go viral on Instagram. This whole idea of community branding is also going to be playing into the community and paid info product that you'll be creating later on. They will both bounce off of each other, causing to boost everything that's going on. It'll boost your content and it will also boost the leads going to your paid info product. And then from there, it will also boost your info product and the interactions that will happen within it. And it's just a cycle going back to boosting your content. Now that might sound a little confusing, but I will be explaining that as we go about here. Now, so getting back to it, there are three main pillars that you need to focus on to capture attention just through your content. So number one is story-based content, authority building content, and then number three, engagement. Look, the Gary Vee area of where you just provide value, and then ask for something in return, that is over. We still want to provide value. That's what's going to put you in the expert position. However, the focus is now more on documentation, displaying authority, and raising your engagement. The idea of the personal brand is so one-sided. And if you're somebody who's just providing value, you're just putting yourself in a sea of other gurus just doing the exact same thing. The one thing that's going to make you different and unique is your authority, your story, and then the engagement that you create with your content. To truly have successful organic conversions with your content, you need to bring others into your world and have them invested in it. So the first kind of content that we need to make is the story-based content. This is where you're going to want to provide more insights/stories into who you are. And this is how you get viewers invested in you, not just the information that you're sharing. And number two is authority-based content. Here's where you're going to want to post your accomplishments and what you have achieved. Now, if you don't think you have authority, you certainly do. To put it in real simple terms, if you made your first $1 online, then speak to an audience who has never made their first $1. And then as you go about making content, you're just going to be gaining more and more authority because you're going to be selling more people into your info product as you just go about this entire process. And then number three, you want to maximize engagement. This right here is a lost foundation to a personal brand. You need a army of people consistently commenting under all of your videos. It gives you the perception that you're the cool kid in high school. It's because people see that others are into you. You know, if you see a cool kid in high school, the reason why you think he's cool is because a bunch of other people are into him and think that he's cool. It's like this forever feedback loop that's going on. Now, to develop this with yourself, it's really a bunch of interactions with your followers. So you want to be DMing them, asking them questions, hopping on calls with them just to chit chat, or other creator founders that are doing the same thing. Hop on calls with them. Go a little deeper and solve their problems while messaging them. Comment on other people doing the same thing. This right here is going to create the engagement necessary to support every single piece of content that you put out. And then what this really does is make you seem like the leader or ultimate authority within the community that you're building through content. So doing story content, documentation, authority content, and engaging is what's going to prevent you from being a broke creator. Gaining a ton of followers and then not being able to sell them on anything is the worst case scenario. And it happens way more than you think. Now, while you're entering phase 2, you're going to have a ton of prospects that will come to you. They're either going to look to learn something from you or purchase a more higher ticket done for you service. But for public speaking, that would look more like a one-on-one consulting or one-on-one coaching. And then what that brings us to is chapter 2, turning your skill into a high leverage product. This is where everyone right off the bat wants to create a school community. Yes, I do recommend eventually starting a paid community. But what if I tell you there's this one secret that these internet people are not telling you that gains them the most money more than a paid community? I discovered this when I was creating my own community. I was initially selling spots in my community for $67 a month. I was like, man, the price is so low for the value that I'm teaching that my entire audience is gonna want to pay for this. Well, I did end up making a lot of money in that first month. I then constantly ran into these churning problems. It wasn't because the product wasn't good and people didn't like it, so they're dropping out. It was because the amount of traffic needed to consistently replace the natural churn was so much. And then at the same time, for my done for you content agency, I then consistently kept on raising the price for my offer without actually even changing the product or the service. So I started selling it for $3,000, and then each call I would hop on, I would raise it by $1,000. Finally, I got a closed call for $8,000 a month. And like I said, this was for the exact same offer. I didn't change anything, just the price. And it was really funny to me. I was trying to consistently replace that churn for the $67 a month school community. And within just that one sale of my high ticket info product, I was able to make almost just as much as my low ticket info community product. And like I said, I was struggling to replace that churn for the $67 product. And also around this time, I was looking into other really big time info product creators offers. I was dissecting everything that they had, their funnels, and how they had their products set up. And that's when I realized that everyone who has a low info product also has an extremely high ticketed info product at the same time. These big time paid info community creators don't actually make most of their money from their paid community and off of their subscriptions that they're getting for it. There's actually a way higher leverage info product that you can be selling and that they're doing at the moment. And what it will allow you to do is initially make you a ton of money right off the bat and simultaneously build your school community. So understanding that, there was one change, just one change I introduced to my school community that doubled the revenue quite literally overnight and solved my $67 churn problems. And that is high ticket consulting. Like I said, the high ticket consulting is the #1 way that your favorite creators are making most of their money. And let me ask you this, what is easier? Selling 100 people on a $50 info product or selling one product for $5,000? Some of you might be thinking 100 people is a lot easier to sell on a $50 product. You couldn't be more wrong. I'm gonna let you in on some funnel math that will prove my point. So let's say I had an email list of 1,000 subscribers. I then send out an email calling action to promote my $50 product. A good open rate for an email is around 40%. So out of the 1,000 subscribers I had, now only 400 people are actually opening and reading the email. But then through that email, you then had to have the viewers click on a link to your landing page for your product. This is called click-through rate, and a good one is around 3%. So out of 400 people, you are now down to 12 people that are landing on your info product site. A great landing page will roughly convert around 5%. So basically you're looking at one person converting from the initial 1,000 subscribers you had on your email. It takes time to build and capture this audience that can consistently be converted into your lower ticket product. Your best bet is to initially have a high ticket consulting offer. And then before you say nobody's going to pay me above $2,000 for me to consult them, you're dead wrong in that as well. I initially thought this as well until I started hopping on calls with business owners and realized that there is plenty of money going around. If you're working at a job right now, count the number of employees within that business. Add up all their salaries and you'll realize that the business is spending hundreds of thousands of dollars, if not way into the millions, on just having employees operate within their business. So money is extremely abundant. It's everywhere. It's around you at the moment. Switch your mindset to abundance mindset when it comes to money and you'll be much better off. Now, for actually developing your high ticket consulting product, there's 3 things that you need to do. The first is market research. You have to understand who your audience is to learn how to speak to them, and then most importantly, how to solve their problems. Then number 2 is your offer. This is where you're going to want to develop your minimal viable offer. This means a bare bones offer where you don't have to set up all these modules within your course. And your offer is going to stem from market research to understand where your audience's current situation is, and then what their desired situation is, where they want to be. And that allows you to have your solution in the middle that gets them to their desired situation. For example, for my public speaking high ticket consulting offer, I'll take my viewers from their current situation, which upon market research is that they're lonely, they feel inadequate, they have zero confidence within speaking, lack relationships because they're introverts, to a desired situation to where my client is more confident and effective communicator, allowing them to develop amazing relationships, excel in their career or business because they become a leader, and also attract the opposite sex and have a great relationship. So in between that current situation and then the desired situation, that's where my offer lies. And to be clear on what exactly my offer is, they'll be helping out my targeted audience of lonely individuals who are ineffective communicators, non-charismatic, and taking them to be charismatic, a great communicator, a leader, all within 30 days. So that would be my minimal viable offer at the moment. And then number 3 is coming up with that minimal viable product, which will help out the offer here. You do not want to spend 2 months creating the wrong high ticket consulting package. You could end up wasting months creating the wrong thing. And plus you want to get started right away. You need to make some money. And I found this out the hard way. I spent literally 3 months building an info product to then release it and then having everyone not happy because it wasn't what they needed. Instead, I would have sold that idea to the first 5 people and then use those 5 people to 1, figure out what information they need to get to their desires. 2, focus on that group to get a solid case study out of them. And then number 3, package up what I taught them through the one-on-ones into course material. After that first month, you'll immediately have a product that fits your entire audience's needs and desires. So back to my public speaking info offer, the first thing that I would do is 1, position myself as a high ticket consultant, use my audience to sell 3 to 5 one-on-one public speaking mentorships, work with that group for a month to get solid case studies. Number 3, through working with them, discover what they really need. And then number 4, work with them from a month to 3 months to get a very solid case study going. Then 5, package up everything that I taught them into some sort of course material. And then 6, repeat that each month. This is exactly how you want to go about developing your info product. Chapter 3, the Creator Founder Funnel. So now we're really playing that game of converting views into dollars. And I really discovered this when I started my content agency. When building out my service, I initially solved the problem of fulfilling businesses with great editors. I grew this to around $30,000 a month. However, I kept on dealing with the issue of clients constantly dropping off. It was because the people I was working with were kind of unhappy with the results I was getting them. I thought we were doing a great job, right? We're creating very high quality edits and we're doing it on time. Communication was great. But after struggling for so long, I realized at the end of the day, most business owners are coming to you to make money. From there, I bought every book from the top G's within marketing, all to figure out the game of converting views into dollars. Most people think it's as simple as throwing up some pieces of content, gaining that audience, and then all of a sudden they buy your stuff. This is the exact reason why my clients in the beginning were churning, because most of them believed this scenario here. In reality, there's much more steps in between somebody watching your video to then eventually converting into purchasing your product. And in today, the info product game is heavily shifting. It's in a good way though. The idea of the Creator Founder Funnel means that it's highly personalized. You become the leader, you make connections, and develop that community that becomes essential to your world. Your funnel needs to reflect this. So the goals that we're looking at here for the Creator Founder Funnel is 1, develop deeper trust and expertise. 2, make the pathway to your product more personalized. And then number 3, have your leads spend more time with you. Now, for the actual technical funnel itself, this differentiates depending on the thing that you're teaching and the thing that you're selling. This is why market research is so important. However, if we look at goal number 1, you need to develop that deeper trust and expertise. The best way to develop more trust is to show or talk about your personal story and what makes you unique. So whether you have someone signing up on an email list or joining a free community, you can easily leverage those to tell more personal stories and, of course, share more valuable information on getting your lead to their desired state. Now for number 2, which is making the pathway more personalized, this comes back to the connection that you'll have with your audience. That's why setting up those engagement foundations are important within your content, but that market research is so much more important. To personalize the value and the messages to your audience, you need to know how to speak to them. When your viewer opts into a lead magnet or into your free workshop that you're hosting, if they feel like that you are directly speaking to their situation, their problems, and their desires, it will make the journey feel 100% more personalized. And other things like having a free community will also help out with this. For number 3 is having the leads spend more time with you. This allows you to boost the first 2 goals of the Creator Founder funnel. The more time that is spent with you means the more personalized it feels and the more time for trust and expertise to be built. So some great aspects to have within your Creator Founder funnel is that free community, weekly calls, a workshop, consistent engagement within the DMs. Those are all really important things for the Creator Founder funnel. So for my high ticket one-on-one public speaking offer, for the journey for the leads would start with YouTube or Instagram, a lead magnet to solve a problem to get them to some sort of desire that they have. Then within this lead magnet, there's going to be personal stories from me, as well as more email marketing to share my journey. This is all here to develop trust. Then it'll be best for me to host a free workshop teaching others to become an effective communicator. The workshop will allow me to spend way more time with the viewers and also allowing that personal factor to be developed. And then eventually converting them to my offer at the end, which is my one-on-one high ticket consulting offer. And that's pretty much it. If you want to speed run your way to $10,000 as a creator founder, all you have to do is just build out these 3 steps. Once you have your high value skill, start creating content and work on that phase 1 of gaining attention. Then enter that phase 2, which is turning that gain attention into captured attention through content. From there, you want to package up your high value knowledge and turn it into a high ticket consulting offer. And to do that, you're going to only work with 5 people, have one-on-ones with them, discover who they are, how to actually teach them, and then package up what you are teaching them into a course and community. And then lastly, optimize on that Creator Founder funnel to establish more trust and expertise, have a deeper connection with your audience, which will allow you to play that game of converting views into dollars and getting to your first $10,000 a month as a creator founder.